Hello dear science Whiz viewers, let's continue the chapter Transportation Animals and Plants, explained for quick grasping, easy to understand. Class 7, Chapter 11. Here is a part 2. Hope you all have watched part 1 which was uploaded earlier. Our two characters, Mitu and Spiky, they are ready with the topics going to be covered in part 2. Please like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much for your support. Let's move on to the chapter. Pooja is confused. I have learned that an artery always carries oxygen-rich blood. Baheli explained that the pulmonary artery carries blood from the heart, so it's called an artery and not a vein. It carries carbon dioxide-rich blood to the lungs. Pulmonary vein carries oxygen-rich blood from the lungs to the heart. It's already explained in part 1, in schematic diagram of circulation in the chapter Transportation in Animals and Plants. Let's study about the structure of the heart. The heart is a muscular organ present in the chest cavity, located between the lungs, slightly tilted towards the left. Its function is to pump blood to all parts of the body. Your heart is approximately the size of your fist. The heart is divided into 4 chambers so that the oxygenated blood and deoxygenated blood do not mix inside it. Oxygenated blood means the blood which is high in oxygen and low in carbon dioxide. Deoxygenated blood means which is low in oxygen and high in carbon dioxide. Chambers of the heart. The heart is divided into 2 separate sides. The left side pumps oxygenated blood to the body and the right side pumps deoxygenated blood to the lungs. Each side has an atrium and a ventricle. Let's learn how the blood flows through the human heart. Here is an image of human heart, starting with vena cava, right atrium, right ventricle, pulmonary artery, to the lungs. Here, right lung, left lung, pulmonary artery, pulmonary veins. Here is the heart. Here is the largest artery, aorta. Then left atrium, pulmonary veins, then left ventricle, the largest artery aorta, and to the rest of the body. So let's start. Here is the schematic representation of the blood flow through the human heart. Let's start to explain. The vena cava brings deoxygenated blood from all parts of the body to the right atrium. The right atrium pumps this blood into the right ventricle, which then pumps blood into the pulmonary artery. This artery takes the blood to the lungs for oxygenation. The oxygenated blood is received by the left atrium through the pulmonary veins. It's then pumped into the left ventricle. The left ventricle in turn pumps the blood into the aorta, which is the largest artery, through which it's supplied to the rest of the body. Let me repeat. The vena cava brings deoxygenated blood from all parts of the body to the right atrium. The right atrium pumps its blood into the right ventricle, which then pumps it into the pulmonary artery. This artery takes the blood to the lungs for oxygenation. The oxygenated blood is received by the left atrium through the pulmonary veins. It's then pumped into the left ventricle. The left ventricle in turn pumps the blood into the aorta, the largest artery, through which it's supplied to the rest of the body. Hope it's very clear. What will happen if the blood rich in oxygen and the blood rich in carbon dioxide mix with each other? To avoid this from happening, the heart has 4 chambers. The 2 upper chambers are called atria and the 2 lower chambers are called the ventricles. The partition between chambers helps to avoid mixing up of blood rich in oxygen with the blood rich in carbon dioxide. The schematic representation of blood flow to the human heart is very, very important, as you are going to learn in higher class about the detailed explanation about the heart. Heartbeat. The walls of different chambers of the heart are made of muscles. These muscles contract and relax rhythmically to pump the blood. Observe the image over here. The rhythmic contraction and relaxation of different chambers produce the heartbeat. A doctor uses stethoscope as a device to amplify the sound of the heart. Amplify means increase the volume to make the sound louder. You can make your own stethoscope with the help of these things like funnel, electrical tape, balloon, rubber tube, scissor, etc. The important points to be noted here. Each heartbeat generates 1 pulse in the arteries and the pulse rate per minute indicates the rate of heartbeat. The rhythmic beating of the various chambers of the heart maintains circulation of blood and transport of substances to the different parts of the body. Here Bujo wonders if sponges and hydra also have blood. Let's check out. Invertebrates. Invertebrates means the animals that do not have vertebral column, that's a backbone. Invertebrates such as sponges and hydra, they do not have circulatory system like jellyfish, sea anemone, etc. More examples. The water in which they live brings food and oxygen as it enters their body. The water carries away waste materials and carbon dioxide as it moves out. Thus, these animals do not need a circulatory fluid like the blood. So once again, sponges, sea anemone, hydra, jellyfish, etc. do not have circulatory system. The reason is that the water in which they live brings food and oxygen as it enters their body. The water carries away waste materials and carbon dioxide as it moves out. Thus, these animals do not need a circulatory system like the blood. Here, this is also important. Who discovered the circulation of the blood? Here, William Harvey discovered the circulation of blood. Let's learn what is pulse. The throbbing movement due to the blood flowing in the arteries which can be felt at certain points of our body is known as pulse. The number of beats per minute is called pulse rate. Pulse can be felt by touching the middle and index finger of the right hand on the inner side of the left wrist. Like this you can try. It's equal to the heartbeat and it's generally checked by feeling the radial artery near the wrist. A resting person usually has a pulse rate between 72 and 80 beats per minute. These points are all very important. Please go through it. Next, excretory system in humans, or in other words, disposal of waste materials. Several chemical reactions continuously take place in the body of an organism. As a result of these reactions, many waste products are produced in the body. Accumulation of these products is harmful because they are toxic, that means they are poisonous in nature. Thus, the body needs to remove these waste products periodically. Animals breathe out carbon dioxide during respiration. Human beings sweat out water from the skin which has a salty content. This keeps the body cool and regulates the body temperature. So as a result of this reaction, excretory system is very important in our body. Next, we are going to learn about the parts involved in excretion. The process of removal of waste produced in the cells of living organisms is called excretion. The parts involved in excretion forms the excretory system. The excretory system in humans consists of a pair of kidneys. Observe the image shown over here. A pair of ureters, a urinary bladder, a urethra, and a urinary opening. Let's learn in detail about the excretory system in humans. Observe the image over here. You can see a pair of kidneys, ureters, urinary bladder, urethra, and how the urine is passed over here through the urinary opening. The waste which is present in the blood has to be removed from the body. Can this be done? A mechanism to filter the blood is required. This is done by the blood capillaries in the kidneys. Let's underline kidneys. So the kidneys, they are dark red, slightly flattened, bean-shaped organ. You know where it is located? Here, you can observe this image. They are placed against the back wall of the abdominal cavity, just below the diaphragm, one on either side of the vertebral column. They are protected by the last two ribs. Hope the location is very clear now. Let's learn. When the blood reaches the two kidneys, it contains both, let me underline, useful and harmful substances. It contains both useful and harmful substances. These useful substances are absorbed back into the blood. The waste dissolved in water are removed as urine. From the kidneys, the urine goes into the urinary bladder through tube-like, here, see the image, through tube-like ureters. Let's underline ureters. It's stored in the bladder and it's passed out through the urinary opening at the end of a muscular tube called here. This is the urethra. The kidneys, ureters, bladder, urinary bladder and urethra form the excretory system. And here, underline this also. An adult human being normally passes about 1 to 1.8 liter of urine in 24 hours. And the urine consists of, remember, 95% water, 2.5% urea and 2.5% other waste products. Next is, this is also important. We have all experienced that we sweat on a hot summer day. The sweat contains water and salt. Pujo has seen that sometimes in summer, white patches are formed on our arc clothes, especially in areas like underarms. So these marks are left by salts present in the sweat. Next, does sweat serve any other function? Let's learn. We know that the water kept in an earthen pot, that's matka. It's cooler. Hope you all have experienced drinking water from matka. This is because the water evaporates from the pores of the pot, which causes cooling. So that's all about the excretory system in humans. Hope it's very clear to you. Part 2. Please wait for part 3 to be uploaded. Let's learn about the organism and the waste product. The way in which waste chemicals are removed from the body of an animal depends on the availability of water. So here the aquatic animals, almost all the aquatic animals which lives in the water, they excrete. Cell waste is ammonia here, which directly dissolves in water. Next is birds, lizards, snakes, etc. They excrete a semi-solid white colored compound, that's a uric acid. The major excretory product in human is urea. Sometimes a person's kidneys may stop working due to infection or injury. As a result of kidney failure, waste products start accumulating in the blood. Such persons cannot survive unless their blood is filtered periodically through an artificial kidney. This process is called dialysis. Hope it's very clear. If there is a kidney failure, waste products start accumulating in the blood. So such persons cannot survive unless their blood is filtered periodically by using an artificial kidney. So this process is called dialysis.